on the Instagram, come and say hello too. And of course, if you're a replay, hashtag replay. And a little reminder, on Monday, I have a 2-week challenge starting. So if you want to trim your belly over the summer, enjoy the summer and still lose weight, then come join me. It's a 14-day challenge. I give you nutritional guidance, workouts, gym or home, accountability. So all the good stuff come to you. And there is a grand prize worth £497 for the person who contributes the most in terms of shows up, takes action, but also for the person who supports other women. So yeah, that prize was $497 and it's a whole month free coaching with me, my top VIP package. So that is up. So there's still a few more spaces. So if you want to come and join and experience what it's like to not only coach with me, work with me, but also experience results, how to eat more food and work out in a way. So it'll give you loads of benefits for health, mindset, and really help you reinvigorate your summer and not kind of go, oh, do you know what? It's great, it's dark, it's rainy, I'm not going to bother doing anything. I'm going on holiday, what's the point? So yeah, just helping you reclaim summer and your health during summer. All right, team, let's get into it. So calling all corporate women, time to take your health back. Now, for somebody who might or may, I don't know some of my story, but I was in corporate for 14 years before I went full-time in fitness. And in that time, my health just like went to the pits, basically. Just working all hours, because my whole self-worth was about how good I was, how good I remember just saying, actually, just remember this, that you're only as good as your last project. That was the saying. So I was always hustling to prove my worth. And of course, when you're a high performer, high quality work, you get more work thrown at you because ultimately you're delivering for your manager and it makes them look good if they're getting things done faster to high quality and getting more done. And then obviously, they get kudos for that too. So what happens is you're the person that seems to do all these things, and then you don't want to be seen as incapable or not good enough at your role. If you turn around and say, sorry, I can't take any more on, I'm like creaking under the pressure of all the stuff I've got on, you feel like it's a reflection on that you're not very good at your job. They might find you out because after all, you've been faking it to make it. And it just starts to play on your confidence, and the mind monkeys come into play. Because when you're tired, when you're burning out, living for the weekends, trying to crawl towards your holiday, then the mind monkeys come into play and tell you all that negative stuff that isn't actually true, but you start to believe it because that's just the place you're in, with the stress of it all. And you're trying to keep it all together. I mean, we're only talking about work, but as females, we've got the home life too. You might have kids, elderly parents you're looking after, all the social events, the house stuff, everything we're juggling as women, and it gets on top of you. And then what happens? Like me, your health, not even on the radar. We don't even think about it, right? It's not even there. It's not even a factor. So before we know it, we're kind of in that cycle of work, trying to juggle all the house stuff, making it look like we've got our shit together. And then we're just grabbing whatever we can to eat. So it's just about filling a hole. Like lunch might come and go, and we might eat at our computer, we might not. But for sure, we're working, right? And then if you're grabbing anything, it's going to be the quickest thing to just get a fill on. And then you're stress eating as well, because you're stressed, you're grabbing the biscuits, crunching down on the crisps, those things that give you a bit of stress relief, but also a fat and sugar boost, so it gives you that bit of false energy too. And then you're living off the caffeine. Certainly that's what I used to do. I used to drink 2 liters of full sugar Coke a day. I wouldn't have breakfast in the morning because I was too busy, and told myself if I have breakfast, it makes me hungrier. And then for lunch, if I did have a lunch, it would be some sort of meal deal thing, or I might go to the canteen and have like mac and cheese and chips, and it was like shoving it down as quick as you could. And then I'd have my dinner, and then I'd end up snacking at night, and I might even sign on work. And then to de-stress was all about treating myself with alcohol, right? Treating myself with alcohol. And then I got my wake up. Well, I kind of knew I was going there. I could feel my clothes were getting tighter. Comments were getting made. My grand made a comment about, oh, you're getting a bit fat, because buttons were popping out my blouse and stuff. But I was just basically in denial about the state of my health. And then the worst happened, and I broke my leg and ankle, ended up in hospital with crutches, and it was horrendous. Never been to gym before in my life. Had to learn to walk again. And a time before we had all this tech, so I was totally in my own personal lockdown because everyone's off doing their own thing. People only come around a few nights because everybody's busy and they've got their shit going on. But also they weren't used to me needing their social interaction because they'd all been about work, right? So things didn't really exist outside of work. So it was very isolating, super tough. And it's at that point that I promised myself I'd never let my health get back into that state. And that's a promise I made myself. I know you might be thinking, oh, you're saying, Julie, reclaim your health. It's okay for you because you do fitness full time. But actually, there's a lot of similarities, especially when you're running your own business. There isn't the 9 to 5 cutoff. You're obviously working around client schedules as well, constantly getting different messages, different sessions for clients, and in the work you do in the background, like this stuff, social stuff, the nutrition plans, the training plans. There's a lot to running a business. And honestly, I feel like I need to, I don't know what, in order to, I don't think you'll ever get on top of it when you run a business. I don't think you ever do. So there's a lot of similarities, and what can happen doing what I do is that your training goes to the wayside because you're busy serving everyone else, especially if you're like me and you've got a people pleaser background. Then those habits can creep in. And I still see that now where I have those habits that can creep back in, because when you get super busy, your go-to becomes the sugary drinks, your go-to becomes those foods. And it's that whole piece around those habits are always there. It's just replacing them with good ones. And then knowing when you've kind of fallen off, as I say, you come off and then you're like, oh, I'm having all this stuff and I'm feeling crap. What's going on? How do I get back on? So I always say sometimes we do test it and we follow for a good, healthy routine around fitness, nutrition, mindset, and we fall off and then we feel shitty and we're like, oh, this is awful. I've got no energy. I feel like crap. What's going on? And it's like, that is obviously the key, because you're fueling your body, you're fueling your mind. And when you stop doing it, you feel the impact of that once you've connected with that. So that is a power. So what can you do? So I've just shared a bit about my story in terms of my 18 plus weight and all the bad habits I had in corporate life. So what can you do, Jessica, in order to turn it around? First up, take a lunch break. Like, honestly, guys, you don't have to take a lunch break at your traditional 12 or 1 o'clock. I used to take my lunch break, you'll be like, what? At like 11 a.m. Yeah, that's right, 11. Because I knew lunch is when everybody puts meetings in. They're meant to ban that, but it still happens. Okay, so take lunch earlier or later than your traditional lunchtime. And that way you can get out for a walk, just breathe, move your body, just get away, get space from the screen. And it'll make such a difference. And when you're out, do not be checking your emails, because otherwise there's no point. You might as well be sat at your desk. So go out, disconnect, not big one, 10, 15 minutes, walk around the block, just look at nature, just breathe, help you reprioritize, just get a bit of, what's the word? Just a bit of perspective. That's the word I'm looking for. A bit of perspective in life just by getting out, okay? So I'm not even saying take a whole hour. If you can, absolutely, you deserve that. You're not getting paid for that hour. But obviously, I'm being realistic here. So let's start off with 15 minutes, get out, go for a walk, and see how you get on. Okay, then number 2, batch cook your meals. Like, there's a lot of resistance around batch cooking. We tell ourselves, oh, we like variety, we don't like to plan, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of resistance around batch cooking. But honestly, it's what served me when I was working, not just corporate, but for me to do fitness, I was working 2 jobs at once. So I was doing fitness in the morning, corporate, fitness at lunch, corporate, fitness at night. And sometimes I'd be working 7 days a week. And there was a period of 6 weeks where I was doing 7 days a week for that entire period. So you really got to, the big difference for me was around prepping, because when the shit hits the fan, when you've got a busy week, having stuff in the freezer that you've already made up on Sunday or in the fridge ready to go makes a world of difference. And I'm talking about having that for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. And in snacks, easy as just buy a whole heap of fruit and you've got it there ready to go. And if you're thinking, oh, Julie, but I like fresh food. Well, it is fresh food. You're cooking it fresh and then you're just freezing it so you can pull it out for when you need it. And I'm saying lunch as well, because often in your workplace, the lunch options will be crap food. High calorie, low protein, crap food that's not going to fuel you and results in you then snacking in the afternoon and then later on in the evening. So definitely lunch. And if you're like, I've not got time for breakfast in the morning, the days I'm in the office, cool. Then again, prepare your breakfast, overnight oats, something like that, and take it in with you and have it at your desk. Okay, there's always ways to work around this stuff. This is about fueling your body, so you're not going to hit the biscuits, the cake, the snacks, all the things that you know you're doing right now and you're really frustrated about, but you don't know how to undo it. And you feel like you've just kind of lost your body, you're feeling fat and uncomfortable, and you're just like, I don't know what to do. Like, look at the state of my body. I feel trapped. I've got so much pressure on me, so much work. How am I ever going to break out of that? Batch cooking is your key. So stop resisting. Okay, and I'm going to talk about the next objection around that. The next one you're going to tell me is, but Julie, my partner doesn't like this. My family doesn't like this food. Be selfish. This is your health. Be selfish and cook food for you. I do it all the time with my husband. We often have very different meals. We did again tonight because he didn't like cod. So we often have different meals because for me, it's about prioritizing my health, fueling my body for the activity I do, which is completely different to his routine. So be selfish about it. And for a lot of my clients who start on prescribe the structure of my meal plan, they're like, oh, I'm going to try this, give us a go. And then their partner, their husbands get curious and go, what's that you're having? What's that? What's that you eating, Jessica? And before they know it, they're having to buy double, triple portions because their family are in on it and eating all their food, right? So it's that whole thing about, don't try to pull people along with you. Go, you lead the way. You do your own thing and let them stay on their side of the street and do their thing because it's your health and it's you who's going to live with your body and your mind when you're not investing in your health through batch cooking and putting yourself first around the shopping list and what you're buying. Okay, and I promise you, when you batch cook and you fuel your body with the protein, the veg, and the fruits, you'll stop craving the other stuff. Of course, you'll occasionally get it, and then you'll realize how crap you feel when you eat it. But I'm telling you, it's a total win for you in terms of stopping the snacking on crap. Okay, third one. So number one was take your lunch break. Start with 15 minutes. If you can take an hour, great. Number two is batch cooking on a Sunday morning. Being selfish, create your meal plan. What does it look like for the week? And do the shopping based on what you want to eat for the week. And number three is set your bedtime. Yes, 10:30 p.m. latest. Okay, now the reason I say 10:30 p.m. latest because you really want to start thinking about heading to bed at 10, right? Being realistic. We're females. We're going to load the dishwasher. We're going to put away washing. We're going to find other things to do. So set your bedtime at 10. I'm getting ready for bed. And by 10:30, you're in bed at the latest. Now, there's a couple of reasons to say this. One, you'll be more effective at your job, right? Which is why you're putting so many hours in. You'll be able to, the whole phrase about working smarter, because you'll not be in a brain fog staring at your screen and like nothing happening. And then you end up working later because you're just like zoned out because you're so knackered. So head to bed 10:30 latest, and you'll be more effective in your job, but you'll also be resilient, more resilient to the challenges, not just at work, but at home too. And I talk about this because I know for me, my mind monkeys come out to play when I'm tired, right? So I can feel it, right? So I can pretty much set my watch to it. I don't even go for like by about 9:15 tonight. My mind monkeys are starting. You've not done this today. You've not done that. You're rubbish at this. You're rubbish at that. And I know that's because I'm starting to get tired. Okay, so I'm like, ugh. Go away, right? I'm going to go to bed. So it is so true. So not only does your body heal, not only will you wake up feeling better, more rested, more energy, it'll also help with those negative mind monkeys in your head and help to control them. So set your bedtime for 10, heading to bed, in bed, ready to go to sleep by 10:30 at the latest. And I'm not even going to talk to you about not looking at your phone in bed because you should know that shit, right? That's basic. I'm not even going to go there. All right, number 4. This is a work management piece because I know people struggle to say no. I always struggle to say no because I say if you felt like it's a reflection on you. For me, hard work was always rewarded. You'd get recognized for the work and effort you put in, but there becomes a point where it becomes the norm. So when you're a high achiever, high output, it becomes the norm and you're trying to maintain that level. Okay, and it's super difficult. So when you get handed another piece of work, another action, I want you to say to your manager or ask your manager, what would you like me to stop doing so I can do that new action or that new piece of work? So what you're doing in effect is prioritizing, asking them to prioritize. And if they turn around and say, oh, you've got this, you can do it all. Say, yes, I can, but I can't do it all within X time frame. So what is the expectation? That's really what you're doing. You're getting clarity on expectations. When do you expect me to do this piece of work by? If it's like, oh, it needs to be done yesterday, then okay, so that means I'm going to have to drop X, Y, and Z. Are you okay with that? That's not going to happen by then. Just to be clear, that's what we've agreed. In order to do this piece, then I need to drop this piece and I'll get pushed back. And have that conversation to set expectations. And if you're still getting resistance, you have to say, well, I can't do it all. That means me working till X time. And of course, they'll never ask you to work late. They'll never ask you to work your weekends, of course. So just really set your boundaries and stand your ground. And like I say, you might be uncomfortable to begin with. I absolutely get that. But just think about you're asking for them to prioritize your work stack to help you work through it. And just say, just a question here. What would you like me to stop doing so that I can do this by X date? What does that look like? I'm just looking at planning my work stack. And it'd be good to get your view on what's the priority with the time I've got to do this stuff. And just really make it that conversation of you not seeking to be argumentative or say, I can't do this, this is too much. This is about you saying, let's look at the work stack. Let's have a conversation about it so that you can actually have a life. All right, and number 5, this is the key, okay? So this was a key for me. Well, a lot of them were. Everyone I'm giving you was really a key, let's be honest. But this one was to book fitness sessions in your calendar at night. So it could be at home, it could be a gym, it doesn't matter. They don't need to know, right? Nobody needs to know at work. Because when you've got a commitment at night, this will stop you working late at night, because people think you're free at night, especially if you don't have kids or your kids might have left home. Then a lot get put on you because you're the single woman without kids, or you're maybe a woman that's chosen not to have kids, or you might have grown-up kids who have now flown the nest, whatever it may be. If people don't think you do things in the evening, it's okay. It's okay for you to do a bit more work. It's fine. You've got no plans. But if you book in a fitness session, this is a double win. One, you're going to get your movement in. So whatever fitness it is, you're like, I don't care. Strength training, cardio, whatever. The important thing is you make that commitment to yourself and you do it. So you're choosing you over excess workload, okay? And by having that session, if someone's like, oh, what you got going on tonight? You can say, oh, I've gone to the gym, or I've got a fitness class, or whatever it may be. You just start to implant in them, oh, Julie can't do that thing tonight for us because she's got a class. And you are sticking to that no matter what, right? That is your self-care, your priority. And if someone says, oh, like they won't ever ask, right? They won't ever say, oh, can you cancel the class? They'll be like, oh, we need that paperwork done for tomorrow. And you'll be like, well, sorry, but I've got a class, so I can't do that tonight. I'll have to wait till tomorrow. And by saying that you've got a class, they'll never ask you to cancel that class. They'll go, okay, and they'll be in that sticking point. But if you volunteer, oh, it's okay, I'll cancel my class, I'll get that done. They'll go, oh, great, thanks. You see what happens? This is how you end up giving up on yourself and your health, because you give in to other people. So it's really about having those sessions booked, treating them as a work meeting so you turn up for yourself. And not only does that stop you being overwhelmed by all the work you're doing and working even more hours, it then means you're getting your fitness in too. How good is that? And obviously you might be starting out, so you don't want to be booking classes like 5 days a week to begin with, but start out 2 classes and then just book that time out to get your own personal admin done. And just say you're going to a gym class. It doesn't matter, they don't know. And just say when you've got personal admin to do and all the other jobs that you've got on at home. All right, team, let's summarize that. Hey, Stacey, just joining. So let's summarize. So number 1, take your lunch break anytime of day, minimum 15 minutes to get out, breathe air. If you take an hour, great. Number 2, batch cook your meals on a Sunday. Makes a big difference to ensure that you've got your food set up for breakfast, lunch, dinner for the week. Even if you've got it planned and you've got the food in, then it makes a world of difference. It takes away the pain of decision making, and it makes sure that you've got fuel for your body that's good for it rather than depleting your energy. Number 3, set your bedtime 10 p.m. At the very least, it should be in bed at 10:30 to help heal your body, but also build your resistance and stop the mind monkeys coming to play. Number 4, when you get handed another piece of work or a new action, then your question is, okay, cool, what do you want me to postpone or drop in order to do this thing? What is it you want me to prioritize, reprioritize in order to get this piece done? This means X has to go. And number 5 is book your fitness sessions in your calendar at night. And that way you've got a commitment, so they know that you've got a commitment and you can't take on the extra work. All right, team. So don't wait till you, like me, end up in hospital, realizing the state of your health because you're giving everything to corporate life, and that's the life you've been living, okay? Honestly, it's so painful. Like, obviously, accidents do happen, but if I was in that place now, well, I have been. I had a knee op back in the end of February, and it was so much easier getting around. Yes, there's frustrations with physios, all that jazz, it's standard healing stuff. But in terms of getting around, mobility, movement, I was back doing sessions with clients the next day. Yeah. So it's that whole thing about your health helps you in terms of getting through the tough times. It's there not just as your parachute during the tough time, but it's there underlying, and it helps you how you show up, how you turn out at work in terms of your productivity, how you feel about your work, how you feel about your life in general. It really is about the quality of your life. So everything that I've shared with you tonight is really about you having energy, having a quality of life while still doing the work that, I'm not saying you're going to hate it, but the work that you maybe enjoy, but not letting it take over your life. Work is only one element of it, okay? You've got a whole life to be living and enjoying. So come join me, take back your health. It's my mission to help other women do that. And those 5 tips will help you take back your life and your health, and just get that real balance, realignment with the work stack. All right, team, hope that helps. I know it's been a longer one tonight, but something I'm very passionate about. Any questions, you can DM me. You know where you can get me. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it may be. Doors open. And a little reminder, 14-day challenge starts on Monday. So if you've not already joined, DM me very quickly. The word serious, because you've got to be serious to want the change. And I'll get you enrolled for Monday. All right, take care. Have a good night, team. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you.